All right, today we are diving into a pretty incredible political drama. We're talking about a face-to-face meeting between two guys who couldn't be more different, and the future of America's biggest city is literally hanging in the balance. So let's break down this high-stakes showdown.
So the stage for this was set way before they ever agreed to meet. President Donald Trump, he's out there publicly calling New York City's mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani a communist lunatic. And Mamdani, well, he ran on a platform that actually included a pledge to Trump-proof the city. I mean, this goes way beyond just political disagreement, right? This is a total clash of ideologies, personalities, and visions for New York.
And all that public sparring, it's all coming to a head with this one, main event, a high-stakes showdown at the White House, where, no joke, New York City's future is on the line.
Yeah, this is no photo op. For the very first time, these two are actually going to be in the same room. And for Mamdani, you have to imagine, this is a huge early test. His really ambitious plans for New York depend big time on federal money that President Trump controls and has already threatened to cut off. You know, it's that classic case of an immovable object meeting an unstoppable force.
Okay, to really get what's on the line here, you gotta understand the two people at the center of it all. So let's take a closer look at this tale of two very, very different leaders.
And wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got Donald Trump, the sitting Republican president, pretty much the definition of established power. And on the other side, Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic Socialist mayor-elect, an insurgent who pulled off a totally shocking victory. One represents the federal government, the other, a city that loves to define itself by pushing back against it.
So when you look at Trump's record with New York City, it's complicated. He's threatened to cut off federal funding, and he's already pulled money for huge projects like the Gateway Tunnel. He even endorsed Mamdani's opponent. But then, he recently says, I would like to see the new mayor do well because I love New York. You see this mix of hostility on one hand and professed love on the other? That makes him a super unpredictable person to negotiate with. So, who is this challenger? Zohran Mamdani, a former state assembly member who just cruised to victory with more than 50% of the vote. He's an immigrant from Uganda, became a citizen back in 2018, and he ran on this one really powerful idea, making New York City a more affordable place to live. And here's what's really key. Despite all the tough talk, it was actually Mamdani's team that reached out first to set this whole thing up.
Which brings us to what's really at stake here. This is a battle for the future of New York. We're talking billions of dollars in funding and some really ambitious policies that all kind of hinge on what happens in this one meeting. Okay, check this out. What's so interesting here is the political landscape Trump is dealing with in his old stomping grounds. According to CNN exit polling, only 27% of New Yorkers approved of him. Compare that to a massive 70% who disapproved. He may be president, but back home, he's not exactly Mr. Popular.
But get this, here's a wild twist. A full 10% of Trump voters also cast their ballot for Mamdani. How about that? It kind of suggests that for some voters, this populist economic message, helping the little guy, it resonates, even if it's coming from total opposites on the political spectrum.
And Mamdani's vision for the city? I mean, it's huge. We're talking free public buses, government-run grocery stores, massive rent freezes, universal childcare. These are enormous, expensive promises. But pulling this off, it's going to be almost impossible without at least a working relationship with the White House.
So, you can see with the stakes this high, this is way more than just a meeting. It's a full-on political chess match. Let's take a look at the strategies and the pressure tactics that both sides are using to try and get an edge.
Team Trump definitely came out swinging. First, the threat to withhold funding. Second, officials started signaling that they would ramp up ICE raids in the city. And third, some Republican allies even started to question if Mamdani's citizenship was valid. These are textbook power plays, right? Designed to put Mamdani on his back foot before he even steps in the door.
But Mamdani wasn't just going to sit there and take it. His countermove? Build a team, a powerful one. He's been talking with New York's governor, Kathy Hochul, and top Democrats in D.C. like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. He even got advice from civil rights icon Al Sharpton and the former CEO of UBS, Robert Wolf. So yeah, he's walking into this fight with some serious backup. And when someone asked him if he was worried about walking into a hostile room, his answer was super direct. I'll stand up for New Yorkers every single day. So you see, he's framing this whole thing not as a personal fight, but as his job, his duty to the people who voted for it. So where does all this leave us? With a totally uncertain outcome, with so much on the line and two people who are so dug in, Honestly, what happens next is anyone's guess.
Look, you hear the White House saying Trump is willing to meet with anyone. You hear Mamdani saying this is his opportunity to make my case. So on the surface, everyone's open to talking. But let's be real, their history of fighting and just how much is on the line, it casts this huge shadow over the whole thing.
And so at the end of the day, it all boils down to one fascinating question. In a battle between a president's power and a city's resolve, who blinks first?
Subscribe for more. Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to click that thumbs up button.